Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share a message of hope and reassurance. A message that reminds us of the unwavering presence of God in our lives. The title of my speech is God Didn't Bring You This Far to Leave You, and it is a testament to the divine purpose that guides us. In the tapestry of life, each thread is intricately woven with purpose. This purpose is not something we create for ourselves. It is something that is divinely ordained. The concept of divine purpose is a profound belief that God has a specific plan for each individual, a plan that is unique and meaningful. This belief is a cornerstone of faith, providing a foundation upon which we can build our lives with confidence and trust. When we speak of divine purpose, we are referring to the idea that our lives are not random or accidental. Every experience, every challenge, and every triumph is part of a greater narrative that God has authored. This understanding can be both comforting and empowering. It comforts us in times of uncertainty, reminding us that we are not alone in our journey. It empowers us by giving us a sense of direction and meaning, encouraging us to pursue our passions and dreams with purpose. Trust is the companion to divine purpose. It is the unwavering belief that God is in control and that His plan is perfect. Trust is not always easy, especially when faced with adversity or when the path ahead seems unclear. Yet, it is in these moments that trust becomes most crucial. By trusting in God's plan, we can find peace and reassurance, knowing that He is guiding us through every trial and triumph. Knowing that He is guiding us through every trial and triumph, this trust is not blind. It is informed by the promises and assurances found in Scripture. The Bible is filled with verses that remind us of God's faithfulness and His commitment to those who trust in Him. For example, Jeremiah 29:11 states, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This verse encapsulates the essence of divine purpose and trust, offering a promise of hope and a future that is secure in God's hands. Moreover, the stories of the Bible are filled with examples of individuals who trusted in God's purpose for their lives. Consider the story of Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his brothers but ultimately rose to become a leader in Egypt. His journey was fraught with challenges, yet he remained steadfast in his trust in God, believing that his purpose would prevail. Joseph's story is a testament to the power of trust and the fulfillment of divine purpose. In our own lives, we may not always see the full picture of God's plan. We may face moments of doubt and uncertainty, wondering if we are truly on the right path. But it is in these moments that we must remind ourselves of the divine purpose that guides us. We must trust that God knows what is best for us, even when we cannot see it ourselves. This trust is not passive, it is active. It requires us to align our actions and decisions with the principles and values that reflect God's purpose for our lives. It requires us to seek guidance through prayer and Scripture, to listen for the gentle whispers of God's voice in our hearts. It requires us to be patient and to wait on God's timing, knowing that His plan is perfect and that He will reveal it in due time. In essence, divine purpose and trust are intertwined. They form the foundation upon which we can build a life of faith and fulfillment. By embracing the belief that God has a purpose for us and by trusting in His plan, we can navigate the complexities of life with confidence and hope. We can face challenges with courage, knowing that we are not alone and that God is with us every step of the way. In conclusion, remember that your life is not a series of random events. It is a journey guided by divine purpose. Trust in this purpose, knowing that God is in control and that His plan is perfect. Let this trust be the anchor that holds you steady in the storm, the light that guides you through darkness. By embracing divine purpose and trust, you can live a life filled with meaning, hope, and fulfillment. In the journey of life, we are often faced with choices that define our path. One of the most significant choices we can make is to embrace faith over fear. This choice is not always easy, especially when the unknown looms before us, casting shadows of doubt and anxiety. Yet, It is precisely in these moments that faith becomes our most powerful ally, offering us strength, resilience, and a sense of peace that fear cannot provide. Faith is the unwavering belief in God's presence and His promises. It is the trust that He is with us, guiding us through every trial and triumph. When we choose faith over fear, we are choosing to see the world through the lens of hope and possibility, rather than through the distorted lens of fear and limitation. This choice transforms our perspective, allowing us to view challenges as opportunities for growth and learning, rather than as insurmountable obstacles. Fear, on the other hand, is a natural human emotion that can be both protective and paralyzing. It can alert us to potential dangers and motivate us to take action to protect ourselves. However, when fear becomes the dominant force in our lives, it can lead to anxiety, doubt, and a sense of being overwhelmed. Fear can cause us to retreat from the world, to avoid risks, and to miss out on the opportunities that life offers. The Bible is filled with stories of individuals who faced fear and chose faith instead. Consider the story of David and Goliath. David, a young shepherd, faced the giant Goliath with nothing but a sling and a stone, yet he did not let fear dictate his actions. Instead, he chose to trust in God, declaring, "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." David's faith in God's power and presence gave him the courage to confront Goliath, and it was this faith that ultimately led to his victory. In our own lives, we may face giants of our own, challenges that seem insurmountable and fears that threaten to overwhelm us. But like David, we have the choice to embrace faith over fear. We can choose to trust in God's promises and His presence, knowing that He is with us and that He will guide us through every trial. This choice is not always easy. It requires us to be intentional and deliberate in our thoughts and actions. It requires us to focus on the positive, to seek out the lessons in every experience, and to cultivate a mindset of gratitude and hope. It requires us to surround ourselves with supportive people who encourage and uplift us, and to engage in practices that strengthen our faith, such as prayer, meditation, and reflection. Moreover, embracing faith over fear is not a one-time decision. It is a continuous process. It requires us to be patient and persistent, to trust in God's timing and His plan, even when the path ahead seems unclear. It requires us to be open to change and to embrace the unknown with courage and confidence. In essence, the choice between faith and fear is a choice between two different worlds. One world is filled with doubt and anxiety, where fear dictates our actions and limits our potential. The other world is filled with hope and possibility, where faith empowers us to overcome obstacles and to achieve our dreams. By choosing faith over fear, we can live a life that is more fulfilling, more meaningful, and more aligned with our true potential. In conclusion, remember that you have the power to choose how you respond to the challenges of life. You can choose to let fear dictate your actions, or you can choose to embrace faith. By choosing faith over fear, you can find strength, resilience, and peace. You can face the unknown with courage and confidence, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. Let faith be the guiding force in your life, and watch as it transforms your world into one of hope and possibility. In the journey of life, we often find ourselves striving for control over our circumstances, our relationships, and our destinies. We seek to shape our lives according to our desires and expectations, believing that by doing so, we can ensure a path of success and happiness. However, this pursuit of control can sometimes lead to stress, anxiety, and a sense of being overwhelmed. It is in these moments that the concept of surrender and release becomes a powerful tool for finding peace and clarity. Surrender is the act of letting go of our need to control every aspect of our lives. It is the acknowledgement that there are forces beyond our control, and that sometimes the best course of action is to release our grip and trust in a higher power. This surrender is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength and wisdom. By surrendering, we open ourselves to the possibility of a greater plan, one that is orchestrated by God and is beyond our limited understanding. The idea of surrender is deeply rooted in the teachings of faith. In the Bible, we find numerous examples of individuals who surrendered to God's will, trusting in His plan for their lives. Consider the story of Mary, the mother of Jesus. When the angel Gabriel appeared to her with the news that she would bear a son, she responded with a spirit of surrender, saying, "I am the Lord's servant. May it be as you have said." Mary's surrender was not passive, it was active. She chose to trust in God's plan, even when it was beyond her understanding. In our own lives, we may face situations where surrender is necessary. We may encounter challenges that seem insurmountable, or we may find ourselves at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. In these moments, surrender can be a liberating force. By letting go of our need to control, we can find peace and clarity, allowing us to see our path more clearly. The process of surrender is not always easy. It requires us to be intentional and deliberate in our thoughts and actions. It requires us to cultivate a mindset of trust and openness, being willing to let go of our preconceived notions and expectations. It requires us to seek guidance through prayer and reflection, listening for the gentle whispers of God's voice in our hearts. Moreover, surrender is not a one-time event. It is a continuous process. It requires us to be patient and persistent, trusting in God's timing and His plan, even when the path ahead seems unclear. It requires us to be open to change and to embrace the unknown with courage and confidence. The act of release is closely tied to surrender. Release is the letting go of burdens, worries, and fears that weigh us down. It is the act of freeing ourselves from the chains of anxiety and doubt, allowing us to live more fully and authentically. By releasing our burdens to God, we can find a sense of peace and freedom that is beyond our understanding. In essence, surrender and release are transformative practices that can lead to a life of greater peace and fulfillment. By surrendering our need for control and releasing our burdens, we can open ourselves to the possibility of a greater plan, one that is orchestrated by God. This surrender is not passive, it is active. It requires us to be intentional and deliberate in our thoughts and actions, cultivating a mindset of trust and openness. In conclusion, remember that you have the power to choose how you respond to the challenges of life. You can choose to hold tightly to control, or you can choose to surrender and release. By embracing surrender and release, you can find peace and clarity, allowing you to see your path more clearly. Let go of your burdens and trust in God's plan for your life. By doing so, you can live a life that is more fulfilling, more meaningful, and more aligned with your true potential. Prayer is a profound and powerful practice that has been a cornerstone of faith for centuries. It is a means of communication with God, a way to express our thoughts, feelings, and desires, and to seek guidance and strength. Through prayer, we can deepen our relationship with God, find comfort in times of need, and gain clarity in moments of uncertainty. The power of prayer lies in its ability to transform our lives, offering us peace, hope, and a sense of connection to something greater than ourselves. At its core, prayer is a conversation with God. It is a dialogue that allows us to express our gratitude, seek forgiveness, and request guidance. Prayer is not limited to formal settings or specific rituals. It can be practiced anywhere, at any time, in any form. Whether it is a whispered plea in a moment of crisis or a silent reflection during a quiet moment of solitude, prayer is a versatile and accessible means of connecting with the divine. The Bible is filled with examples of the power of prayer. Consider the story of Daniel, who prayed to God for wisdom and understanding. Despite being in a foreign land and facing numerous challenges, Daniel's faith and prayer led him to receive divine insight and guidance. His story is a testament to the transformative power of prayer, demonstrating how it can lead to clarity, strength, and fulfillment. In our own lives, we may face moments of uncertainty and doubt. We may encounter challenges that seem insurmountable, or we may find ourselves at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. In these moments, prayer can be a powerful tool for finding guidance and peace. By turning to God in prayer, we can seek His wisdom and strength, trusting that He will guide us through every trial and triumph. Wife and life, become holy. The process of prayer is not always easy. It requires us to be intentional and deliberate in our thoughts and actions. It requires us to cultivate a mindset of openness and trust, being willing to listen for God's voice in our hearts. It requires us to be patient and persistent, trusting in God's timing and His plan, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. Moreover, prayer is not a one-time event, it is a continuous practice. It requires us to be consistent in our efforts, making prayer a regular part of our daily lives. By incorporating prayer into our routine, we can deepen our relationship with God and find a sense of peace and fulfillment that is beyond our understanding. The power of prayer is not limited to personal transformation. It can also have a profound impact on our relationships and communities. When we pray for others, we can offer them support, encouragement, and love. We can pray for healing, for strength, and for guidance, trusting that God will work in their lives. By praying for others, we can foster a sense of connection and compassion, building stronger, more meaningful relationships. In essence, the power of prayer lies in its ability to transform our lives and our world. By engaging in prayer, we can deepen our relationship with God, find comfort in times of need, and gain clarity in moments of uncertainty. Prayer is a powerful tool for seeking guidance and strength, offering us peace, hope, and a sense of connection to something greater than ourselves. In conclusion, remember that you have the power to choose how you respond to the challenges of life. You can choose to face them alone, or you can choose to turn to God in prayer. By embracing the power of prayer, you can find guidance, strength, and peace. Let prayer be a regular part of your life, and watch as it transforms your world into one of hope and fulfillment. In the journey of life, patience and endurance are essential qualities that enable us to navigate the complexities and challenges we encounter. Patience is the ability to remain calm and composed in the face of adversity, while endurance is the strength to persist through difficult times. Together, these qualities form a powerful foundation for living a life of resilience and fulfillment. By embracing patience and endurance, we can face the unknown with confidence and hope, trusting that God's timing is perfect and that His plan is unfolding as it should. Patience is often described as a virtue, a quality that allows us to wait with grace and composure. It is the ability to remain steady and calm even when the path ahead seems uncertain or when progress is slow. In a world that values speed and efficiency, patience can be a challenging quality to cultivate. Yet, it is precisely in moments of waiting and uncertainty that patience becomes most crucial. So, by practicing patience, we can find peace and clarity, allowing us to see our path more clearly and to make decisions with wisdom and discernment. The Bible is filled with stories of individuals who demonstrated patience in the face of adversity. Consider the story of Job, who faced immense suffering and loss, yet remained steadfast in his faith and patience. Despite the challenges he encountered, Job did not lose sight of God's goodness and His plan. His story is a testament to the power of patience, demonstrating how it can lead to strength, resilience, and ultimate fulfillment. In our own lives, we may face moments of waiting and uncertainty. We may encounter challenges that seem insurmountable, or we may find ourselves at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. In these moments, patience can be a powerful ally. By choosing to wait with grace and composure, we can find peace and clarity, allowing us to see our path more clearly and to make decisions with wisdom and discernment. Patience possesses the power to inform us in moments of our potential, and discernment. Endurance is closely tied to patience. It is the strength to persist through difficult times, to continue moving forward even when the journey is challenging. Endurance requires us to be resilient, to draw on our inner resources of strength and determination. It requires us to be persistent, to keep pushing forward even when progress is slow or when obstacles seem insurmountable. Endurance is already free and rising. We do not allow overlap. We do not allow delays. The process of developing patience and endurance is not always easy. It requires us to be intentional and deliberate in our thoughts and actions. It requires us to cultivate a mindset of trust and openness, being willing to wait on God's timing and His plan. It requires us to seek guidance through prayer and reflection, listening for the gentle whispers of God's voice in our hearts, listening to the scriptures of the early church, listening to the scriptures of the early church, listening to your predestination, listening to your... Moreover, patience and endurance are not one-time events. They are continuous practices. They require us to be consistent in our efforts, making them regular parts of our daily lives. By incorporating patience and endurance into our routine, we can build a life of resilience and fulfillment, trusting that God's timing is perfect and that His plan is unfolding as it should. The power of patience and endurance lies in their ability to transform our lives and our world. By embracing these qualities, we can face the unknown with confidence and hope, trusting that God's timing is perfect and that His plan is unfolding as it should. Patience and endurance are powerful tools for navigating the complexities and challenges of life, offering us peace, strength, and a sense of fulfillment. In essence, patience and endurance are essential qualities for living a life of resilience and fulfillment. By embracing these qualities, we can face the unknown with confidence and hope, trusting that God's timing is perfect and that His plan is unfolding as it should. By cultivating patience and endurance, we can build a life of strength and resilience, navigating the complexities and challenges of life with grace and composure. In conclusion, remember that you have the power to choose how you respond to the challenges of life. You can choose to face them with impatience and frustration, or you can choose to embrace patience and endurance. By doing so, you can find peace and clarity, allowing you to see your path more clearly and to make decisions with wisdom and discernment. Let patience and endurance be the guiding forces in your life, and watch as they transform your world into one of hope and fulfillment. Remember that God didn't bring you this far to leave you. He is with you every step of the way. Trust in His purpose. Choose faith over fear. Surrender to His will. Pray for guidance and endure with patience. Together, these elements will lead you to a life filled with hope and fulfillment.